Hey up lads and lasses, Damphyre here, back again with some more Infinite Lagrange. Today we are carrying on with going through the ships. We are looking at the Xeno Stinger. So I'm just going to jump straight into this one. So straight into the Xeno Stinger. This is probably one of, if not the best frigate. And both variants are very, very good. So, as you can see, I have this one maxed. The special variant is a pure damage dealer, and if you've got it, you should be running it if you are running frigate destroyer fleets. Although a little bit later on, because of the squidgy nature, they do sort of die a little bit quickly, so you may drop that down from maybe 10 in a fleet to like 5 in a fleet, or split them between 2 fleets, so they have the bonus of giving you damage in 2 fleets. And then the anti-aircraft variant, which is just flat out the only, I think, UAVs that work in the game that do anti-air, and actually does pretty well at it. So, we'll start off with the special. My recommendation for this one, because it is back row, but it is still very squidgy, is to come in here and pick up some of the increased ship HP first. The reason for that is, even at base, the damage that the Xeno brings is quite a lot, and you just don't want them dying. You'd rather keep that damage in place. You're only getting about a 35-40% bump from increasing its damage anyway, so you might as well just keep that 60% that you already have on the table as long as possible. If you have got a fleet that's set up to sort of tank for the Xeno, you can ignore this rule, but definitely picking up the ship HP first will help you out a little bit, keeping it on the table, keeping its damage in the game to be able to pump more damage out. I will say for a lot of ships this is the case, by the way. We then move on to the Stinger UAV system. Here it is all about the target lock-on speed, the RTB, and then the increased damage. I do not personally pick up the prioritized targets to include carriers, because I don't feel that the Xeno's UAV damage is high enough to really take out carriers, because they have a lot of HP. You're better leaving this for higher damage ships, or using them on things like the Jaeger and then filling them with cellular defenders and stuff like that, which will prioritize your aircraft attacking carriers, but they have a much higher damage potential than the Xeno. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the Xeno's got a very good damage potential, but I just think there's better ships in place. So for me, it's the lock-on speed, double RTB, and then the damage. You can ignore the increased ship system HP, I believe. Most of the ships have higher ship system HP than some of the ships actually have. It's a bit silly, but that's what they decided to do when they introduced system damage to literally all the fighters. Then back into the system, you can now pick up your system physical resistances. Honestly, you could probably drop one of these resistances for the reduced crit damage by the main system. I'd probably recommend that, actually, just in case, because it is just like a more flat damage reduction at the end of the day, well, against crit damage. But so is the physical resistances to a point, but as you can see, you're only getting 11 armor. You're never really going to do anything great with that anyway. We then move on, and you have the generic battery system. It doesn't really do anything, unfortunately. Increased hit rate, cooldown, and then your damage is pretty much your only choices. This is due to the fact that, again, as mentioned before, the damage per hit's 15. With the increased all damage by 10%, you're getting an extra 1.5 damage. That gets rounded up to 2. So you're getting your damage per hit there, or rounded down, I should say, to 1. So yeah, increased hit rate. Again, it's not really what the Xeno's about, and I don't think I've actually seen the Xeno ever doing any anti-damage anyway. Here, it's kind of your choice. It's going to completely depend on what type of fleet you're running. If you are running a frigate fleet, you might want to go both onto the cruising here to bring this up to, I think it's about 1,000 something. It makes it into a very, very fast fleet. However, if you are running destroyers, your max sort of cruising speed is going to be around 850. So then increasing your warp speed might help a bit there. Generally, doesn't really matter. This is going to rely entirely on what type of fleet you're running. I run like a frigate destroyer fleet, so that's going to be a movement speed around 850, and at base, this is plenty. It's going to keep up with the fleet. It's not going to slow it down. Then moving on to the anti-aircraft, similar situation. You might want to come into the armor system first here, just to pick up some of the increased ship HP. However, once you get into the main system, the prioritized targets here is really good. If it's got corvettes, it's going to go after them. It'll go after T-800s like nobody's business, and it does actually substantial air damage. This is fleet-wide as well, so it is giving you a full fleet coverage, which all these UAVs should be doing, but only the Xeno's actually doing it. We then increase the lock-on speed, we pick up an RTB, and we pick up another RTB, and then you increase the damage. This is due to the fact that UAVs have a short return to base, so keeping these RTBs on will increase the time they are on target, which in turn increases the time they get the damage out. We then have a look, I believe it's over to probably like the generic battery system again. Again, nothing really here. You'd probably pick up the hit rate, the cooldown, and then one of the damages again. Hit rate being the most important, but again, I don't believe the weapons on this actually do any air defense. So there is that. As mentioned before, if you haven't taken the ship HP first, take it now and then increase its physical resistances, and arguably you could take the crit damage received by main system by 6% here as well. Propulsion, again, we're at 800. If you're running the 850 fleet, you pick up like 2 of these and you'll have your 850 or a little bit more. If you are in a frigate only fleet, potentially picking up both the cruising speeds will be a nice pickup to increase your fleet's total speed and just keep it. I think you can get a full frigate fleet around 1,000 speed, so it does work pretty well. And that is it. A little bit shorter because there is only 2 Xeno Stinger variants, although I did ignore one of the Noma variants, but it is that bad. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.